or play Atari 2600 cartridges on your Coleco Intellivision. Wow. Did I just screw that up or what? What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris the Atari Creep here, and I can't do this without my coffee. And this one's going to be right off the hip. I don't really have any true direction. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get what you get. I didn't really want to go into like a review of anything. I just wanted to discuss maybe a little history and just kind of emphasize how weird the gaming industry was when I was growing up. Now, I'm an old man. I'm 41 years old. I almost forgot how old I was compared to a lot of guys out there that play video games. But regardless, back in the day, when I first started this channel, I had a video called Atari 101, VCS 2600 cartridges. And within the video, I discussed the different variances of the cartridges, who was making them, how some were similar to other ones, but they still did their own thing, and just the weirdness that ensued with all that. More importantly to this video, I also discussed how competing companies were making product for each other. It's very well known that Coleco was making games for Atari, and Atari was making games for Coleco, and Mattel was making games for Atari, even though they had the Intellivision, and it was just a weird time. To fast forward X amount of months, just to have fun, I Instagrammed a couple pictures. The first one was a copy of Super Mario or just Mario Brothers in my Sears tele-games, and I was playing it with the Sega Genesis controller. The significance of that was, obviously, you have an Atari product with a Nintendo product and a Sega product, all being used to play one game. To take that the next step further, I did the same thing with a Donkey Kong cartridge. Now, this is 4 competing companies. Now, I do know that I'm leaving a few little things out here. Some of these competing companies weren't necessarily competing quite yet. Nintendo hadn't come out with the NES yet, so whatever. I don't think Coleco had come out with the ColecoVision quite yet when Donkey Kong was ported to the 2600. You can correct me on that. But long story short, you had an Atari product playing a Nintendo product produced by a Coleco product, and I was using a Sega product to play it. So, the fast forward to basically what I want to talk about here is, I need a lot of coffee today. Can you hear the music? Are you digging it? I decided to go with the Biohazard Battles soundtrack. Great game. It's kind of mad to some people, but the soundtrack's amazing. All right, back to what I'm talking about. This past weekend, I was able to score a ColecoVision. Fairly reasonably priced. The guy had that and pretty much every accessory you could think of. He had the steering wheel, the roller ball. He had those 2 really cool super joystick things, which I'm still trying to get off his hands. And he recently just posted a handful of games for him, but $10 a piece. I don't know if I want to go there, but one thing I focused on right away is I noticed he had the Coleco expansion module #1. And so I bundled the 2 together. Now, the prices were already reasonable, but I bundled them and got them for an even more reasonable price and brought the sucker home. And the main reason why I wanted to take this home was not so much for what it is, but the history of what it is. If you don't know just yet what this is, I'm pretty sure most of you do, but this is a console add-on. It's a console in itself, but you need the Coleco in order to play it. But this allows you to play 2600 games, Atari games, on your ColecoVision. And I guess what they were thinking was, people don't want to buy the ColecoVision because they already have the Atari. But the Coleco was superior to it, and it really was. And it's a shame that it came out when it did, because it became a victim of the time. And I honestly believe stuff like this also aided in the crash. But, they didn't have time to flourish. And I think they would have taken off. But long story short, they released this. I don't know how long after the initial Coleco release. I don't know if it came out at launch. But they released this so that if you did have a stack of Atari games, it wouldn't make it, kind of a moot point to buy another system. That way you can still play your catalog that you already have and still purchase their catalog, and everything was funky. Now, it didn't expand the graphics at all. It didn't make it sound or look better. It basically is an Atari in here. Everything looked and sounded the same. It just needed the ColecoVision to power it up. Of course, Atari was pissed off when they saw this thing, and they tried to sue Coleco. But what ended up happening was, it turns out that Coleco was able to engineer this thing with off-the-shelf parts, not using anything that's proprietary to Atari themselves. So the courts basically ruled, look, they were able to just go out and make this thing. They didn't reverse engineer it, or whatever you want to call it, tech talk, blah, 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 blah. And it's quite all right that they did that. So Atari, of course, was pretty pissed off about it. So just to drive the nail in a little further, Coleco decided to make an actual standalone console by itself that played Atari games. And it was called the Coleco Gemini, which they also licensed out to Columbia House. If you remember those little ads, you can get 12 CDs or 12 cassettes for a penny, and then every month you had to either pick one, and you had to buy so many at X price or whatever. Well, they did that with video games too, and I did not know that back then. I wish I had. But the Coleco Gemini was also repackaged for Columbia House. And if you can get your hands on one of those, you have yourself a rare bird. I've seen them sell for up to $1,000, if not more. Was it a good console? No. Wasn't the greatest console. In fact, they're notorious for breaking down. But their controller was awesome. It had a joystick and the paddles. And from what I understand, they work very well, and they're very highly sought after. I plan on getting a Coleco Gemini here pretty soon, just to have it. I recently seen one in the box that's reasonably priced, so I may jump on that here pretty soon. But we'll see. No, getting off topic here as I usually do. Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, again, I told you this was just going to be like a quick little thing. The reason I wanted to bring this up was because it is another example of the bizarre history of video games and how it evolved to what it is today. Shortly after the crash, Nintendo came up with some real strict policies as far as who could and how things could get published for their systems, and it carried on with each competing company since then, and it has helped the industry quite a bit. But when stuff like this was floating around, it was neat at the time, and to old cats like me, it was commonplace. It wasn't bizarre. But to the younger generation of gamers today, I'd say 25 and younger, I know you couldn't possibly see something like this happening, but it did. It's kind of like movies. There's certain older movies, and they would have certain verbiages in them that would never fly today. Same idea. It's just how the times changed, and I think because of stuff like this, it also aided in the crash of '83 and '84. Could you picture something like this happening today?
No way.
Nope. So I guess that's really all I wanted to talk about, which is my brief, I just picked one of these up, and it just fascinates me that these companies intermingled somehow. I mean, this wasn't really an intermingle. This was kind of a shady deal on the side that they got away with. But it is fascinating. And this is why I love collecting this retro stuff, especially since I was kind of there. And I knew about some of it then, but I'm still learning now at 41. So that's it, guys. Hope you got through this video. If you subscribed, thank you so much. If not, please do. Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave feedback. All feedback's positive to me. And what are some of your thoughts on the old ways of the video gaming industry? What kind of practices really, baffle your mind? I mean, this blows my mind. It really does. To this day, I'm holding this in my hand, and I still can't believe it exists. But that's it. All right, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. It is Friday. I am working on that 16-bit console war video. I keep telling myself, why are you doing this? But it's turning out pretty fun, and I got some surprises in there for you. So, guys, with that, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope everyone's doing well. Summer's really kicked in here, so I hope we're all out doing our thing, and we're all being safe. And until next time, this is the Atari Creep signing out saying, bye-bye.